Hi guys, LeanMachine-Painting. So we're on to the next stage. So in effect I've just put a pin on this exhaust. I tried to straighten it but it felt brittle all the time. I had hot water running on it. I put a pin just to get this on here because as you've seen the glue's not taken to the humidities and temperatures at the moment. So just a quick little pin just to get that on there, just to hold it in place. Super glue, that's done. So now we're on to, we've got a piston to put on to a part of the arm. What I've done off camera, decided to throw a magnet on there and a magnet on the end here of this. So then I'm going to stick a magnet in here as well. So in effect we've got layers of magnets, but the thinking behind it then is that will go on there and then this will go onto here. So I've got a couple more magnets to do. This one here though, looking at the size of the hole, let's have a look. Got this magnet size, I don't know what size it is, but it pretty much fits straight in there. So I'm just going to whack a bit of green stuff in there and then we're going to throw the base colour on. I don't need the drill just for the minute because it's hot on my lap. So again, this is not sure how long this video will be, but if it's a little sit and model with me, then great. Let me know what you're doing. What arm are you working on, or model, or what game has got you interested at the moment? Is it the 40k? Is it the 8th edition? The two games I'll only ever really play is this, and I would like to get into bolt action. I've pretty much got an American and a German army. Maybe I'll use my armies, give over time in the future, maybe give a game me against my brothers. I don't know if there's anyone locally that does it. I haven't really looked into it. Probably there is. I don't really have time for gaming groups. I'm too busy. But who knows, in the future, if I connect with someone and, you know, personalities match, then maybe I'll get some games, maybe some of you guys. So I think this was the right size. I thought it would actually fit a little bit better. Let's get me, oh, they're all here. Or was it the size up? Was it that one? Yeah, it's the size up. So goes in that way, so that goes in that way. That. Actually, I could do it with just one magnet. So that magnet's gone in there. Should have whacked actually some super glue in before. That's okay, we can get the magnet back out, I think, I hope. Let's whack some super glue in there. But that green stuff in there should grip it anyway, but I just like the extra layer of the super glue. So I'll squeeze that back out. This should hopefully squeeze a bit of the green stuff out anyway, which we'll use just to go around. Just use the end of the brush just to smooth it out. It's kind of mixed a bit of the green stuff with the glue there, but that's okay. So it kind of gives a little layer, sealing it off. Just using different tools in different ways. I never use the Games Workshop brushes for painting because they're absolutely rubbish in my opinion. I only ever use the Windsor Newton 7 series for actual painting. I do use the Games Workshop, that brush, which is the, what's this called, large dry brush, is basically my dusting brush. I just dust things and clean. So that's that one in, really nice. So that's adding in layers, so that will go in there like that, that one out there like that. Then this one goes on to there like that. And is that pulling that down a little bit? Pulling it down a little bit, the weight of it. It's okay. That's okay. Yeah, that's alright. Just pulled it down a little bit, the weight when you move it, it kind of droops it down, but we'll maybe get a bit of blue tack in here as well. Just as a permanent bit of blue tack after it's been painted, and what that'll do, see sometimes people do this with like Land Raider sponsons on the side. I'll just hold it up where you want it, and then that's there like that. Yep, that fits on there like that, and then we'll have the claw when I get the last one in on there. Now the weight of that I'm feeling might droop that, so we'll just throw another bit of blue tack on there. The other way you could do it is get a bit of a locking pin kind of. What's in there? That, and that will go on there like that. So what we need to do, just before we get painting, we've got the other arms to do, but before we get painting, we'll start painting in a minute. What we'll do, let's just get that back on, put a blue tack. What we'll do is we'll just take that end off there, and we'll just clip that off. Or should we glue that on? Why did I put, there's a reason why I put a magnet. I thought maybe I could get a bit of, if it's a problem I can get those magnets back out and we'll just glue this on, but for now let's try and let's just cut this off. This little end part. I've had it flicking off into my coffee hopefully. Get that flattened out. Just mark where the middle is. Get the drill. Don't normally do a lot of pinning and stuff, but I've been doing a bit on this model, which is good. It's okay, I don't mind it. I feel like things will be stronger. Going for a slightly bigger surface area for this magnet now. Let's see, let's get one of these bigger ones in there. Or just about goes in. That's a tight fit. How's that for a bit of eye work? Can't even get it back out. Right, I've got it back out. Let's throw a bit of green stuff in there. Squish that into a little ball. Throw a bit of super glue in. Heating me coffee because it's getting cold. Green stuff. That's going to squidge out, hopefully out around the edges. Now I've got to make sure I get my polarities right. So those little ones. way, and that's going to go in that way. So I don't know if I'll be able to get 2 in, but I'm going to take 2 off and see. No, I'm only going to get 1 in, that's fine, it saves me a magnet. And then just use the end of my brush just to push it down to get it flat. My fingers all sticking together. There you go. Push it a bit more if I can. That's ideal, that is pretty much flush. So then that, get that one off. Just put that there. Yeah, that's pretty good because that's not. There is a slight sticking out. Need to flush it back a bit. Right, that's good, that'll do. It's a big claw up I think, and then that will go no, get that magnet to match up there. Beastly. Beastly, look at that. That way or the big claw at the bottom, do you think? 2 claws up top, maybe, yeah, 2 claws up top. But now I've got a bit of you know, I can sort of move it this way, I can move this way. A little bit wobbly on this plane here. I don't know if I'll end up putting a bigger magnet in. I think it might need something a bit of a bigger magnet. I've left a little bit of space so I can dig that magnet out if I need to. But actually I think it's going to need it. Gosh. Get that way, get that way. See now, that's got to be careful because I'm going to snap off the shoulder pad part. Not bad, looks pretty menacing. So let's get some paint on this, so bear with me a sec, I'll be right back. I'll just clean up my desk a little bit and I'll get some base coats down on this. Be right back. Okay, so we're back. I always use Vallejo surface primer. I never use anything different. I used to use grey, I now pretty much always use black, sometimes black and then from top down grey, just to get the contrast, get the highlight. So this is obviously pretty basic and straightforward, so let's just take this into its bits. I always put a bit of tissue down obviously because I don't want to less mess as possible. Now we do have a piston to put on that actually, so we'll probably glue the piston on and then get back to that. Let's get all the bits off that we can, so get this into its parts. Get that blue tack out of there. These guns eventually did go on. I'm not going to be wobbling them too much or playing with them. There's no more bits to take off there. Then we've got the exhaust pipes, the hatch, the actual goblin guy himself. Whilst you was away, I did pin this arm on because I couldn't get it to stick. There's a slight gap there, so I need to green stuff that. Actually, I could use this. I was going to use I've got loads of super glue over my fingers. I'm looking a right mess at the minute. I was going to use Games Workshop's stuff in the pot, but it's not great, if I'm honest. I'm just going to squidge this. I need some sculpting tools, really. I've looked at them in the past. So let's just try and get that to go into the gap. And the airbrush I use is the Harder & Steinbeck. I went from when I first got an airbrush for the made in China job that came with the air compressor, and then I went to Badger, but then I had quite a few problems with them, their airbrush, so I decided to go for this, and this has been an absolute dream, this airbrush. I'll probably get a few more, one or two more in the future, but for the time being, one brush and one brush only. I don't swap the pin sizes out. You know what I mean, the needle size. I don't do that. When I first got it, I got a different needle size, and I was going to swap them in and out, but not really found the need to, so I use it for everything now, airbrushing, fine painting, a lot. So let's whack a bit of black down on this. No gloves or anything, so this could get messy. It hasn't cleaned, so it's just spitting a bit big. I probably need to get this clean. I left some cleaner in it, but it's only base coating. So I'll probably fast forward this at some point if I remember. I'll say that to remind myself. But I'm putting down a thin coat rather than plaster in it. It is spitting quite badly, so it needs a good clean. Don't forget to get around the edge of the magnet. You don't have to actually get the magnet too much itself. I got my thumb on that. But you've got to get it from all angles to get in all the different grooves and everything. So we'll fast forward this now. I'm using air sometimes as well when it comes out a bit thick. You'll see of the releasing agent, the paint will just kind of not stick to it. If you'll see that there's a releasing agent in there, so I haven't cleaned this model at all. A bit of air. Just dry off where it went a bit on thick and just spread it out. Probably can't see this because my hand's in the way, but that doesn't matter, it's only a primer. Maybe we'll zoom in a bit. Okay, so we're starting the painting now. So I've base coated it with the black, but then what I did off camera is I threw some black on, because obviously that's got a slightly different, you wouldn't believe it, but it does have a slightly different tone to the base black. So what I did with that is I also threw in a little bit of water and some satin varnish. So what I'm going to do now is then I dropped in some model colour dark blue grey into the pot. There was hardly any little touch of black in. So what that's going to do is, because we've got to do something with the black, or else it's just black. So you can't really see it, it's very subtle. If you see in that bottom corner there, there's just a touch of grey. So we're going to whack around the bottom. So we're going to segment this off. So we've got the visor, we've got this middle part, we've got this bottom ring. We're going to segment that by giving it a slight highlight from bottom up. Just hitting the edge. Very subtle. So then you see that? So we're going to work up from there. So now I'm going to hit this upper part. I don't want it very prominent, I want it just very subtle. Like that. Okay, so we're going to work up first. So we've got washes that go on this, so the washes now are going to knock it back. We then got the rust and the scratch effects and everything. It's all going to knock it back and mix it all in together, so you don't have this stark contrast, but it's breaking up this black. So just going to do the bottom ring a little bit, just a little bit around there. Now, I didn't pre-think of this. I go with the flow and see what works, and it usually does just work. I guess I'm okay in my head with colour theory and all that. It's something that for new people, some people find it hard, some people find it difficult. You just got to know what works. I don't know how I know it. It's not something I've researched. But you just think of it, you just think a little bit, you think what makes up green, the colours that go into green. So if you look at a green, you try and look past the initial colour and you can see what's in it. You can see there might be some yellows or browns or blues or, you know, purples possibly. Different tones of purples. Just don't think of one shade of a colour. Think of the possible different shades and then what on the spectrum that is that's in that colour. And then you can kind of work with that. So that's that part there. Do I want to do the ring, these arms? No. Just blowing air at the minute, well I think. So that's probably that bit. Now I'm going to do the shoulder pad. Now the shoulder pad is probably going to have a checkered pattern, like it's been sort of painted on by the Orcs or some Gretchen skivvies, but we're going to have this back, make sure I don't get any dry tip there. This is quite thin, this paint as well, quite thin down. You don't just go crazy, just go real. I'm hardly pulling back, hardly any paint coming out. Just give it just a little shading up like that. Like that. And do the same around the back. Like that. And then we've got because now that front part, if I put my airbrush, that front part, remember it's got this part to go in front of it as well, so all that behind work is going to be covered up with this anyway. If I can get it to fit. We'll guns seem to be slightly in the way. Oh, that just actually clipped in. That was quite nice. So that will be in front of that work anyway. Bit sticky fingers taking off a bit of the primer there. It actually clicked in, which is quite nice. Scraped off a bit of paint on the gun barrels because there's a bit of a squeeze to get it in. So that's there now. I can actually paint that whilst it's on that model. Now it's just clipped in, so get a bit cleared out. Mark a bit around that bottom panel, just right on the edge. I've just hitting the edge, bottom edge. Bottom edge, and then go up to now some of this is going to be painted over, so the straps pin there are probably going to rust them up. Get the second bottom edge up. So that's that. Teeth I'm not doing because they're going to be painted up white, splodgy white pattern on them. And then there's nothing apart from maybe around the crotch area for this. So this is crotch area is going to stay black. So I will just highlight, clear it out. Just hit that top panel. And then the kind of door part here, like a fridge door they just put on there or something. Like that. And then on the back there's no panels or anything on the legs, there's all pipes and pistons and stuff. So I hit the back panel but not the panel angling down, just that one panel. That's just a bit of precision airbrush just to hit that one panel when I didn't have to tape it off. So that's that. So on the arm itself though, I might keep a couple of panels in there black, maybe this strapping around the outside as if it was painted black. Just got to work out which parts. So if the arm goes like that, I'll work out the highlighting. So I'm just going to hit this edge in here. This has got a bit of satin varnish in it as well. That edge, just along that edge, and then is all going to be hit back, knocked back, should I say, hit back, knocked back, with washes and all the effects that are going to be layered up later on, all the watery washes and rusting and stuff. So that's that shoulder pad. Now really I would like to have done the other weapons and the shoulder so I could do all this at once, but I've got a video for reference now. So let's have a look what else here. I don't think there's anything else really. Maybe these pipings could be black where it's around the middle, and then I can do the spikes that they've done white. So if this is up, it's going to rough it around the bottom a little bit. Now there's some petrol can there, but that's probably going to stay black, so let's just wax the bottom of that just for a little bit of highlight, get me any dry tipping off. You can overpaint a little bit underneath because the underneath parts are going to be painted anyway. There's a pipe in there. So that's that, what I'm classing as the petrol thing, because there's a thing to pull up underneath. I'm going to whack diesel or petrol or whatever it is they use into there. I think these pipes are going to stay black, so I'll whack a bit, put the highlight on them. These piston casings on the side. No. That. That. There's some of the pipe casing on here I can actually do. So the pipes I know that are staying black, I'm just racking a bit of contrast, bit of highlight there. These piston casings. So that's that. I think that's all that's going to be black. I'm going to whack the feet a bit. Oh, that just shot out a load. Now these feet are going to be so dirtied up and weathered but this will just be in the background. Even if you just see the slightest bit at the end, at least you've done this layer of work already. So around the feet, but then that's going to be dirtied up and weathered. Okay, so that's that. So the next bit is, there's a lot of metallics we need to do. So let's have a little look. There's a bit of paint that's just come off there, but that's okay. It's where I snap this part in. Come on. Something like that, almost. So there's the start. I don't know how that's coming out in the light. Let's get a bit more light around here. So we've got some pre-highlighting and that off the blacks, and we'll work it up from there. I constantly put in the bits all together as I'm going through the process to see. Okay, but this is going to look awesome when it's done. So because I've got these blacks, I could either mask them off and then airbrush the metallics. I would start with gunmetal, air gunmetal. I then probably seal it with a varnish, gloss varnish, and then put down that ink, and I'll probably go for something brown and dirty, so I'll probably go for the earth shade, Agrax earth shade, and Armour Painter strong tone. I'll probably use both in a combination and work that in. Probably start with dollops of this and use the Agrax earth shade with a touch of water as like a loosening up. See that pipe? See, this is why I normally do this, so I can get the looks of the angles. There's piston casing at the back. I might just tip that. In there. Right at the back there. So most of that's going to be metallics, and then we'll go from the metallics to the rust, then we'll start working the whites in, and then we'll do streaking effects and all that. So there's the process to go through. So what I'll do now is I'll take all this apart, and sometimes I use masking fluid, sometimes I use a masking tape, and a combination of the two. What I might do is, just to protect what I've just done, so I can hit the metallics fast, is just use some masking fluid, whack it onto the places where I want to keep black and where I just highlighted. Now I might have wanted to first of all varnish that in, so where it goes over places I can come back into the paintbrush then and get around the sides. Probably should have sealed it in, so I'm kind of rushing just because I'm filming. Normally I would have sealed that in. So just rush this around here. just so I can whack it, the airbrush with the silvers around, and then I can go in with the brush just to finish it off. So I'm doing this a little bit faster, rushing it than what I normally would do, just to get it going. So it looks messy, but it's because it is. And that piston needs to be saved black. So what I'll do is do that, leave that there to dry, and then don't need to put any metallics on that. I do need to put metallics on this, so I want to keep the main drum black and the highlighted part. I'm going to put this on reasonably thick if you can, because it's easier to peel off then. You could use a brush, but it would demolish your brush if you don't clean that brush like almost instantly. It dries almost like a rubber. Consistency to it, so I'll prop that up there. Maybe save the base coat on that. I don't want to silver that part up as well. Right, this is obviously needs to be saved black because there's a lot of metallics on here. Okay. That needs to dry. Usually dries pretty quick, but I've got on reasonably thick so it's easier to peel off, hopefully, fingers crossed. So that's that part. Let's get this out, see if I need to do metallics wise on this. I'm probably going to use tape so I can just spray the guns. So I got this just masking tape. probably just overdo it because you'll be surprised with where your metallic silver spray will reach. And all the glitter effect on my blacks. So we're going, ooh, camera. To here so far. Okay, so that's that, and then we need to whack more of this onto this. So basically I'm just putting more. Let's zoom out a bit. Don't know how much you're missing of that. It's just basically putting this stuff on. So that, and then we got a lot of panels around the bottom that we created. It's all a bit messy. Can be a bit of a pain picking it out because it's gone in behind the plates and that, but it's where you want it in thick. So you can pull it back out. Stuff stinks as well. And it gets everywhere. So I don't really want this to stick to the tissue because it will probably all peel off. So I'm just going to try and pad it off, the excess on the bottom. Can be a pain, absolute pain to peel off. But I think it's going to do the job I need it to do. So let's start whacking down. Just clean the brush out, airbrush. Clean that out. Loads of water flush through, a little brush around. I'm going to whack some satin varnish in with the metallic as well to try and seal it in as it goes. I can see a big lump of paint on the bottom of my pot here. Just get that out. Oh, tons. Even more, a big ball of it. Plus some all the base coating and everything. I'll whack some airbrush cleaner through it. It's almost gone. Good job I bought a new one. I'll whack a bit of water in there. I'm going to throw in a bit of let's have a look here. Throw in a bit of the old satin. Actually, that was a bit too much, but it's okay. Mix that in, and then where's me? I need some more of this, so the gunmetal. Got a bit of that in because I put loads of that stuff before, and I might just darken it down a bit. So I'm going to whack in just a tiny drop of black, just a drop. It's probably a little bit too much black as well, but we'll work with it. Just backflow it. I'm getting me brushing actually because I've got too much in the pot. Should connect my bigger pot really. I've got the small pot on, so I've got the tiny little pot on this one, but you can put this great big one on. I should really do that. Keep meaning to. I don't even think I can get this cap on to stop it splashing out. Right, give it a look. Blast through, and you see the black coming out darker part now. That's okay. So with that satin varnish and that black into it, it actually comes out really nice. Blow air, air. Get some more paint. Then blast it with air. Quite a bit of satin varnish in that, so hopefully that will seal it as well as it goes. Bit of paint in there. Bit of paint in there. Paint. Paint. And then just blast it there. Paint on the end. And air. Got some leather strapping and he's painting it, holding his barrels together. We'll get to that. So that's those barrels done. We're going to rust them and ink them up and all sorts. Just make sure you've got it from every angle. Always give it a good inspect. So it's that bit. Now all this here is still drying. But what I am going to do is blast the inside of this with this, because they didn't get around to painting this bit, the boys. Now what I will do, so I don't get over the teeth, is I'm going to mask those teeth off. Just remembered I didn't put this masking onto the blade. I'll do that in a sec. So let's just mask this teeth off though. Okay, that's that. So let's just blast it through. And then onto that. That's that bit done. That's the inside of that. Now I needed to do this, but I haven't masked it off, so where's the masking stuff gone? Here. Give it a bit of a shake actually. Trying to be a little bit more precise with it on this one. So I'm just going to flip this quickly over. Okay. So we need to somehow find somewhere to put this to dry. That and just put it maybe against there, like that. So it's almost dry. That's almost, not quite, but almost. So I can just get someone here. Not coming out very well. Is it empty? We're near empty. It must be just clogged a bit. There you go. Dry tipped up a bit. Whack that on and then just hit it with air to dry it. And it's clogged again. It's not coming out. It's annoying. Probably clogged after doing all the black earlier. What I might do is see if I can keep this paint I've just done on that big part. I'm going to whack a bit of tape on the bottom, see if that'll hold the paint in. It's a long shot. I'm going to try it. Should work, why not? Put a little cap on the end and turn it over. That's brand new, I don't think. No, it has been used, yeah. I usually use this little pot. It has been used before. So pour that into there. Put the lid on that and make sure it doesn't get knocked over. Like that, and then let's clean this out. That's it, finished. Bit of backflow. So I'll be back as soon as I just finish this cleaning. Okay, so big pot, clean the brush out, and we're back in action. So coming out better. That. And the engine. Oh, see, that's stuck. Okay, so that's that. Oh no, we've got this one. We've got the claw. Got to get the cogs and the blade. And I want to get this blue masking off. As fast as possible, really. Okay, so let's just get some water in this so I can start cleaning this out, because I don't want the metallics to go across onto other paints. just wait for the water to flush through, and then I'm going to put this in. Okay, let's get the masking tape off this guy. Just going to gently peel it, even though it was satin varnish within the paints. I don't ever trust it, so I'm always very careful. It's good. So what we're going to do once we get the blue stuff, the masking liquid off, we're going to use a bit of blue tack to get off. We're going to then varnish it with gloss varnish. So let's do some blue tack. So you just sort of pull it like that, and it just detaches it from the model. And just peel it off. So this is going to take a while to get all this off, but it's just peeling all this off. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've primed this weapon before gluing it together. Well, I've glued some bits together. I've glued that part onto the shoulder, the ball socket. I've glued the barrel onto this part onto the ammo rack part. So now I need to get this part, and all following the amazing instructions, work out how to put it together. So firing pin, that's like, which side is that? That's like that. So it's saying the firing pin. Okay, so it goes in there. It's probably hard to see because it's all black now. Actually, that fits in quite well without even glue, so that's going to go nice. So that's the firing pin going down to hit this like wood or metal nail with spring on it. With I can see that's quite a good little detail. So the actual point comes out, it would hit the bullets. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. Just a little spike of the nail coming out, so that will whip back, bang, and fire off. So obviously this then is somehow going to mount onto here in some way. We'll work that out in a second. So that's going in there, so we can glue that part in. It's a nice snug fit as well. It's actually scraped off some of the primer. It's that nice and snug fit. So get some super glue in there. tight. And then I need to work out what number 10 is. Cannon clamp, where does that go? Okay, that goes there after you've attached it all up together. So that's the last bit in effect to go on, so I need to work out then this part, which is number 3, which is the upper arm. So upper arm goes, okay, so it goes into there. I don't know if I'm going to magnetise this or not. I need to decide that, I guess. So the upper arm goes like that. I guess I could magnetise that so it can move a little bit. And then how does this fit? So does that go like that? So there's a hole there and there's a hole there. So what goes in between those two? Oh, these are really, really bad instructions. This is me again being stupid. Cannon mount. Oh right, so that's that bit. So do I magnetise that as well? So I can go that way, I can go that way, which would then would be rotating this part. How does this part go on here? Goes on like where does that go on? Like that, I guess. It's not very, that's very, so that's got like 2 hooks that I think goes along the rail, like that. Because then that would make sense, because this part's got a couple of clips on it, which then would go that way around. Clamp that on that. So I could super glue that now. I'm just very wary that I'm super gluing it and it's not right, but it looks right. I think that makes sense so far. Like that. And then this. So I don't understand. There's a hole there and there's a hole there. There's like a rod that I've missed. There's nothing on there. It says there's a rod that goes in between the two. Because I guess I could put a rod in there. Could super glue a brass rod in. And then that will go like that. This is a lot of wasted time dry fitting, but I don't want to mess it up. Because a lot of these parts to undo will probably snap if I have to try and get them apart again. And that's a big old hefty arm, isn't it? And that goes on there like that. So that is pretty much how it goes. So, to be honest, I don't think I'm going to magnetise it. I'm going to have it in a fixed position. I'm just going to get this super glued on here now. So yeah. So that's like that. And then that bit goes on like that. I'm going to hash that, glue everywhere, push that in, so that's clamped on like that. Okay. Some of the primer's gone off. I'll probably just give this another blast of primer. I'm not too fussed about that. And then that will go in there like that. Well, I don't know, magnetising it would be quite nice to be able to just spin that gun around a bit. Plenty of room to drill one in, or just cut off, grind down that part, put the big magnet there, big magnet in there, just drill that out a bit, and then bosh straight in there like that, and then it'll go. It's not really got much range movement sideways like that, because the bar will come in and hit the body, and the back bar will come back and hit the body at the back, but it is enough to have a bit of wiggle room. And then this will probably, I think, will just go glued straight on. There's no point. Like that. Just like that, yeah, it just goes on like that. It just seems weird that there's a hole there and a hole there, but I don't think they line up when you put it together. No, they don't line up anyway, which is weird. So the only glue points I could do that there and that there. Right, so let's whack some glue on. Don't know whether I should have painted this part separately. Getting around these barrels, but we'll work it out. So stick that on there. He who dares. That's gone on there. I just need that to. Have to hold that a bit for a while. So if you guys, I've got a question for you actually. If you guys have any major disasters when putting things together? I mean, if you super glued a resin part together the wrong way around and you just couldn't get it back apart again, oh no, that would be horrendous. I'd done those hip joints the wrong way around, but luckily I managed to get them apart. Just. So I didn't end up with the biggest disaster, so that's on there. It's all a bit, because I've primed it, it's quite hard to see it now. And then this part simply goes in there like that. But this bracket here is supposed to bolt onto that edge of the shoulder pad. It's going to go like that. Now the model I've gloss varnished, so it's very shiny at the minute. I'm going to start throwing down some washes and then building up the highlights and different things. So it's a beast. It's going to go on there like that. Do I need to pull the gun out and around? Not really. If I get the angle right now, I could probably glue all this in. But I might not glue that part to the shoulder so I can get in there and paint. And it's not got a very good fit. It's quite wobbly and it's not flush. So I might have to trim that down, but I might glue this part, the main gun, to this bracket here. Do an effect on like that, because the amount of movement is so small. It's enough, I suppose. That's quite a fair reasonable. But the thing is, every time I'm doing it, it's knocking this here, so I end up scratching up all this. So I'm probably better off just gluing it in. Just having it at a good angle, that's the thing. When I glue it. That's like that, and that goes in there like that. Sort of have it pointing more or less forward. Do you think, should I glue it or magnetise it? I think it might be more pain than it's worth magnetising it. I don't know. Let's get some magnets out. Some of these bigger ones. It might be just a bit too big at this size. I don't know what size that is. But that's what I was thinking. That one could go on there like that. I don't think this one will fit in here though. Oh, yes it will. So will it? With a little bit of carving out, that will go straight in there. Or it might even just push in. That's pushed in. Oh well, it's asking to be magnetised, isn't it? If I can get it back out, so I get the polarities right. Oh crap. Oh shit. Oh no. Holy crap, okay. That's gone in solid as you like. Come on. There you go. Right. So we need 2 of those. Have I got 2 of those? Do you know what? I might only have 1. Oh no, what size is it? This size. Yeah. Yeah, that size. 2 of them. God, that's strong. Don't want to come apart. 2 of them. Right, so that's in that way. So that would go in. That would go in that way. Yeah. So let's scratch this up. Give it a bit of a score. I was thinking if you glue apart like a whole parts together for like one of the Forge World models and you get it all I don't know if you how would you get that wrong though? I don't know. There's got to be something you could do wrong. Right, and then that would go on there like that. Go everywhere, and then this one shit will go in. I think I'm remembering, I'm holding this right. I think it's going to go, that's going to go in like that. And then we'll push that down and hope I did that right. God, that is an absolute ideal fit. Bit of super glue left there on the edge. Double check that, see if it comes, yeah, it's pulling together. So that's that one in there. That was just asking to be magnetised, was it? There's no, but it's just whether I magnetise this one, because I don't think it's going to be a very strong magnet going into that hole there. So I might just glue that, and then because then I can get it, because there's this bracket that bolts onto that top ridge part, I can glue that on, put a bit of spot of glue behind that, and then that will just go in. I'll cut that down a bit and get it a bit flusher, so I've got a bigger base and plus the plug to go in. Might even whack a bit of green stuff in there and push that plug in as well. Actually, that would probably take out the difference on it, but I want to paint up underneath there really. But it is just coming out, it's just too far, it just needs to come down. Just a smidge shaved off the top of it here. It's a bit better, but not still more. I think that's that holding out, or is it this bracket that's pushing it out? Maybe, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, wipe off some excess of that super glue. So that's going to be like that. So then I'll turn a nice little pivot on that there now. And that magnet, I know you can see the silver, but it's almost like the bracing joint in between, so that'll be painted. That'll be, because I'm going to whack a bit more because this has rubbed off a bit of glue. So that'll be painted, you won't notice that magnet in there. So that's that. I'm going to glue that so it doesn't got to pivot up and down. I don't need it to pivot up and down because it's not going to be shooting at the floor or up in the air. So that will be glued in there, but what I need to do now is I need to drill the hole like I did the other one on this end bit, and then I need to get a magnet in there so that will then, because there's a magnet already in the torso which we've done on the previous build, and then that will crack on there like that. That would be awesome. I don't know if the spikes are meant to be on the inside of this, but then when the spikes are on the inside, how does it look on the model? No, it's on the outside on the build, so that is right, because this bit fitted in really nice. When I tried to do it in here to get the spikes around on the inside, it just wouldn't go in on the model part there. So the spikes on the outside, that's pretty cool. And then I've pretty much built this one, so I need to drill this. This is glued on, this fitted lovely onto that as well. I've put all this together, but I've left this so this actually moves. The chain snapped there, which is a pain, so there's a little bit of bad job there. It doesn't really line up, but such is life. And put the pipes in, the pistons. There's an exhaust pipe that goes on the end of that part there, another pipe there, and a bit of piston in the middle. So that's that one. So that's just going to go on like this, and then like that part into there like that, and then that will go on there like that, buzzing away, ready to chop into somebody. Now I couldn't get this arm, it doesn't manipulate, so it's sort of like that angle up and down. It's more sort of arm coming out to the side, but that's okay. It does got a joint here where it does spin down. Actually no, that's okay, but I can't really magnetise it to allow it to hinge up and down so much, so I need to, when I get around to it, find out and maybe glue it at a certain, that pivot kind of angle. So I need to do two drills into here, 2 magnets into there, and then we've got the 3 weapon options for this. Either go shooty, close combat, or close combat, close combat. So I'll pause here, do this bit, and then be right back.